Hey guys, Six Tails here, and I'm just gonna get straight to the point. I think Izuku Midoriya from My Hero Academia is a good character. Now, listen, I get a lot of people hate Midoriya. Like, they just dislike his character. And personally, I've never really understood why. Because as a failed writer, I feel like I'm very knowledgeable on this situation and I understand on why Midoriya is just a good character. Or at least to me. And at least he's a realistic character for the scenario that he's put in, obviously. Like, come on. Yeah. But anyway, what I'm going to be doing in this video, I'm going to be taking complaints that I found from some people, and I'm going to be arguing against those complaints, even though the complaints are very basic. Anyway, let's get into it. His morals are extremely basic. Okay, I'm gonna be real with you. Deku's morals throughout My Hero Academia can literally just be summed up to, "Hi, I'm Izuku, and I want to save people." That is so fucking basic. Like, I will not argue that that's not basic, okay? Like, he's basically a blonde chick going into Starbucks and ordering a fucking pumpkin spice latte, okay? It's about as basic as it can get for a story. Like, it's not wrong. And yet, I think that is what makes it interesting. People seem to always assume, or I guess confuse, that basic equals bad, which just isn't accurate at all. What matters is the way they tackle that basic goal, which I think My Hero Academia does very well. Because the way My Hero Academia takes this basic moral that he has and turns it into a way to keep putting him into constant dilemmas, I think is amazing. I think it works really well. And for instance, as early as season 1, we see this idea explored. After Deco. Wait, mate, are you Deco, mate? Oh, mate, you, mate. Fuck's sake. When Deku and his two classmates get teleported into an ambush, they have to fight their way out of it. And then afterwards, they go to save their teacher, Mr. Aizawa, who is in danger. This action results in one of his classmates almost dying. Because the villain, if you haven't seen the show, then I don't know why the fuck you're watching this, can melt people with just the touch of his hands. Well, not melt, they crack and they fracture and they break, okay? Whatever. Same shit. But if he touches you, you're dead. And one of them gets touched by him, but because of the teacher's power, they are saved. They get put into this situation because of Deku's hero complex, his very basic goal, basic moral, to save people. It put him and his friends in danger, and they nearly died for it. And this very issue, with Deku's morals getting in the way, happens in every single season. It happens in season 2 during the sports festival arc, where Deku could potentially go on and win. However, his chances are then destroyed because he decides that he has to save Todoroki, his classmate. In season 3, he saves Kota from a life of hatred towards quirks, costing him his body, which, yikes, and nearly destroying his fucking arms, but whatever. And in season 4, we literally see someone with similar goals or morals to Deku, who loses his quirk to save a little girl called Eri. This could have so easily been Deku. This basic moral compass is made into a plethora of conflicts based on how something so simple can be used to create a good character dilemma. He barely gets any development within the first 5 seasons. Now, this is just a complaint that I don't really get, because the whole problem is characters have multiple ways of growth. This is very basic shit, man. Where the fuck have you been? So, my question is, which part doesn't develop? Like, are we talking about his endgame goal? Because I think that's kind of it. Every part of his character that I can think of develops at least a little bit from season 1 to season 5. Now, his most obvious is his powers. They go through an evolution with him being able to use only 2%, and then it goes to 5% and so on. I think he's up to 45% now in the anime at least. Maybe 50 or 60, I'm not entirely sure. But then we learn the origins of his very unique quirk and how it can store up power, but also has been storing the previous user's powers. And there is probably still more stuff to be answered about this quirk that I haven't even thought of. And I'm honestly really intrigued to see coming into the final season. However, when people say this, they're probably referring to the fact his character's ideology doesn't develop. Or that's my best guess, I guess. But I think it does. I really do. We see this useless Izuku at the start of season 1. Someone without friends, nobody who is really close to him at all. And then he gets everything he ever could have wanted. He gets friends he can rely on. He gets powers, and most importantly, he gets to become a hero. And after that, we get to see the way he acts in this new environment. And that's season 1. Then in season 2, after relying on his friends to help him succeed for season 1, he's chunked into his old atmosphere, where everyone is against each other for the sports festival. But this time it's different, because not only does he have powers, but he now has the confidence to get through it. We get to see how much he's actually developed from where he used to be in season 1, episode 1. And then season 3 happens, where I think his ideology is shown probably the most out of at least the first 3 seasons. We see the idea of what hero Deku wants to be. Deku doesn't want to just save people. He wants to save someone who doesn't even realize they need to be saved. And we get to see Izuku Midoriya, Deku, the hero that hasn't failed to save someone yet, fail to save Bakugo. And we get to see how he reacts to this, how it crushes him. It's something he hasn't felt before, and that he never wants to feel again, which influences his actions moving forward. He definitely develops as a character, just maybe not the way you want him to. The endgame goal is extremely basic for a shonen. Almost everybody in the story also has the same end goal. Now, the endgame goal is extremely basic, I won't lie. I agree with this. Just like wanting to be the Hokage of your village, which is why Naruto is a bad... I have made a severe and continuous lapse in my judgment. Okay, now with the truth out of the way. Of course this end goal is fucking basic. Of course it's the same for all the fucking characters, because it's realistic to the world. It's like a soccer anime, having the players want to be the best player in the sport. No, fucking shit. Every character we see wants to be a hero. You know why? Because a lot of the characters that we see that are not villains are in the hero program or have something to do with the hero program sooner or later. Oh my god. I think I cracked the code. Fucking idiots. Honestly. So their goals of trying to be the number one hero, the best hero, is almost, hear me out, logical. But no, go and complain anyway, because why not? Complaining's fun. I do it all the time. I love it. I don't even really feel like I need to address this more because it's a dumb complaint. But that's just kind of the same with the rest of these, isn't it? So I'm going to address it. Now, even though, yes, this goal is very basic, it is still, say it with me now, interesting. You guys get a gold star. Good job. I'm glad that you got that. Fucking idiots. Jesus Christ. Now, the reason his goal is interesting is because of the reason he wants to reach it. Because while everyone in the series wants to be number one, their reasoning is not the same. They are completely different normally. All Might, for instance, the current number one hero wanted to be number one because he believed humanity needed a symbol of hope at that time, and he wanted to be that symbol. Simple. Makes sense. However, I don't even think Deku really wants to be number one. I don't think he genuinely cares. Like, yes, that's what he's aiming for in the charts, obviously. But Deku seems to want to be number one more because All Might was number one, not for himself trying to be a symbol or anything. All it really seems like Deku wants is to help people and save them. The number one spot is just a byproduct for it. And then you compare this to his two top classmates, his two classmates that are the closest to getting to number one with him, Todoroki and Bakugo. It's completely different. Midoriya wants to be number one to save people and give them hope. Bakugo wants it for strength to show he is the strongest and that no one can beat him. It is the strength of All Might that he admires. And then you have Todoroki, who wanted it originally to get back at his dad. He wanted it with only his ice powers. But now it seems more like he wants to get the number one spot. Or maybe that he just kind of wants to be a hero like Deku. We don't even know if he still really wants the number one spot. Deku's betrayal of trying and overcoming his goals is extremely basic, and especially for a shonen, almost everybody does it. Basic. A basic. God damn it. Listen to me, okay? Deku's betrayal of trying and overcoming his goals. He doesn't overcome his goals. He actually fails a lot of the time. And that's with his basic goals. Just season 1 is filled with Deku failing to meet his goals time after time. Even when he succeeds, he fails. Okay. In the very first episode, okay, hear me out. His goal is to get the number one hero, All Might, to tell him that he can be a hero after meeting him. Which he doesn't do until Deku proves that he can. Oh, well, that's not a fail. He succeeded. Really, bitch? Really? Okay, smartass, do you want to go like that? Fine. I guess technically he succeeded when he wasn't planning on proving himself. It was by sheer dumb luck that happened. So, after being gifted All Might's powers, he then enters the UA entrance exam, right? Well, you're following? Right? Because I know that you kind of struggle with basic comprehension, so I'm just making sure you're following along, Jeremy. Okay? You here? Good, we're great. Okay, class. Now, his goal here, Deku's goal, is to get enough points to pass. Which he fails to do. The only reason he even manages to get into UA is because there is a second point category which gives him Okay. Well, after this moment, he gets into UA, right? And he is immediately thrown into a scenario where he will get expelled if he is bottom. So his only goal is to not get bottom and not get expelled. But guess what? He gets bottom. He gets bottom. See, he fails his goal. And then he doesn't get expelled. But he still failed. I don't want to fucking hear a word. He failed. Okay? We're good. This point's done. But in all seriousness, one of the biggest moments in Season 1 is when Deku goes up against Bakugo in a team battle with Umuraka as his teammate. Umuraka? With Uraraka. I don't fucking know. I don't give a shit. With Uraraka as his teammate. And his goal in this battle is to not use his power and win. Now we know if he wanted to, he could have just blasted Kachan with his powers and easily dominated. He could have won it One Punch Man style. Done. Next fight. Okay? Okay. But he didn't want to risk hurting his friend. I'll get to that in a fucking minute. His friend to an unreasonable extent. We then have to watch Deku in this battle as he slowly realizes that to be able to succeed in this battle, to come out victorious, he's going to have to use his quirk. And I think the way that they tackle this is really interesting, because with most characters in stories, when they get to this point with this really strong power, they go for a will I won't I in their head before they finally learn to hold back their powers as they unleash it against the person they're fighting. And Izuku is not like that. And instead, he thinks of a plan that will cause minimal injuries to others and allows for success in the mission. While he failed to not use his powers, he did it in a way that is interesting and unlike most shonen protagonists. Which is why watching him trying to overcome his goals is not really basic. Down to the core, he is extremely basic, with basic ideals, morals, goals, peaks, abilities, and developments. I think this is one of the dumbest complaints I have ever seen. For a reason that a character is bad, is saying that they are basic in all these ways and saying that they are just summing them up as a basic character can be literally done for every fucking character in any shonen. Okay, so who are we talking about here? We got Goku, okay, so basic bitch. We got Naruto, the basic bitch. We got Kaneki from Tokyo Ghoul, basic bitch. We got Elric from Full Metal Alchemist. We got Guts. We got Griffith. Okay, we got the guy from Blue Exorcist. Okay, I forget the bitch's name. We got Kiriko. Okay, we got Eren Yeager. Okay, very basic. If you sum up these characters in their first or multiple seasons at any point, they are basic, okay? Luffy. Like, this is such a dumb point. Goku is just a really strong dude who just wants to protect the universe. What does Deku want to do? He's just a really strong dude who wants to protect his world. Oh wow. What is Naruto? He's just a really strong guy that wants to protect his village. Oh wow. What is Kaneki? He's just a really strong ghoul that wants to protect his friends. Oh wow. What is Eric? He's just a really talented person who wants to protect his brother and fix the world that he created. Oh wow. What is Guts? I don't know, I haven't watched it, but I assume it's similar. Same with Griffiths. Luffy is just some guy who's kinda strong, but not the strongest, but slowly gets stronger and stronger so that he can be the strongest. Almost like Goku, almost like Naruto, almost like every other fucking shonen character. So are you saying all those other shonen characters are bad as well, or just Deku? Are you just using this point to shit on Deku because his character is actually bad? Or are you using this point to shit on Deku and every other shonen character? Because it doesn't go against him, but then doesn't go against them. That is dumb. That is stupid. Every other character can be basic, and people say, oh yeah, but I love that character. Deku's basic. Oh no, he's shit. He's bad. No, he can't be good. He's too basic. Goku's not. Naruto's not. Luffy's not. Bleach isn't. I don't know the guy's name, to be honest. I forgot his name because I haven't watched Bleach, and honestly, I probably never fucking will because it looks like kind of a shit show. You can go into any anime and you can probably find one of these basic characters, okay? And to say the character is bad because they are basic is really dumb. It just is. Complaint. He is unrealistic, he cries too much, and is way too forgiving to Bakugo. Dude, can we honestly just have people shut the fuck up about Deku crying? Because honestly, Deku crying is fine. Some people are just more emotional than others. Okay, that's not a bad thing. And I can understand you not liking it, not liking Deku crying, that is fine. Every other scene he cries and it's like, okay, come on man. What are you doing? Calm your farm. But then you have the goal to say it's unrealistic for someone to cry in his scenario or cry so much. This guy had nothing. He had nothing. Nada. And then he literally thought he could never do any of the things in life that he actually wanted to. And then he gets given a chance to be able to do something with his life. Be able to do the things he wants with his life. You really think this bastard's not going to be fucking emotional? Really? You think he's not going to cry in front of All Might? You think he's not going to cry when he thinks he's lost in a fucking cavalry battle? A big event where he was supposed to go show himself, to advertise himself? You think he's not going to get upset at that? Really? Really? I would get upset at that. I would get pissed off. The difference is I'd be kicking shit going, God damn it, you fuck. More like Bakugo. But some people like Deku and they would get emotional and they would get teary. That's just the way people are. And to say it's unrealistic is fucking dumb. Also, I bet you love Tokyo Revengers and you sound like the exact kind of person that tells a guy that he should be more emotional. Then as soon as he shows a hint of emotion, you go, wow, you have so much baggage. I'm out. Fuck you. I hate you. He is way too forgiving to Bakugo. Shit. Bakugo is a dick. Yes, he is, very much so. He's a piece of shit. Yeah, he kind of is. And Deku has every reason to hate this kid. Abso-fucking-lutely to the moon. But in My Hero Academia, it's a class thing. It has nothing to do with Bakugo actually hating him, even though he did. It was more of a class thing. Because from what we see, no one really likes Deku. He doesn't have friends. He doesn't have anything because he's quirkless. It is a class problem. It is not a bully problem. It is a class issue. And we just see Bakugo's attacks at him the most because he is the second main character. Bakugo hates Deku because Deku's a nobody, okay? And no one else really likes him. Sure, some people might not dislike him, but they don't like him either. So it makes sense that you would end up having some sort of thought process in your head, like, wow, he's a dick or something, right? And because Bakugo thinks that Deku's always looking down on him, even though he doesn't have a quirk, which ends up building up in his head. His insecurities end up building up in his own head, and then unleashing it onto him. So, at that point, when then he sees Deku finally becoming someone, and he sees Deku getting power, his understanding of the world and everything breaks him. And the reason Deku forgives Bakugo and doesn't hold it against him is because he understands what Bakugo is saying. He understands why Bakugo is like this. Because Deku knows that if he was in his shoes, he might be the same towards Bakugo. If Bakugo had no quirk and Deku did, he knows that he might act the same way to Bakugo as Bakugo did to Deku. And I believe this is even stated in the anime after Bakugo gets All Might deflated and blames it on himself and then has a fight with Izuku Midoriya, and if it is, I will play it here. If not, ignore me. Deku is so pure of heart to forgive Bakugo, not because he is this basic bitch, and, well, because he has to be for the fucking story, but because he has been so filled with hate, with so many people against him for what he is. The only way he could live on was to be purely peaceful and to be forgiving. Otherwise, he would have turned into Shigaraki. He is the counter to him because he has been in a life similar to him. Almost like the villain and the hero are the same. Well, guys, that's it for this. A lot of the complaints were basically just Deku is a basic bitch, and it's kind of annoying because while he is basic, that does not, I don't think that makes him a bad character. In fact, I think they use his basicness to really fulfill the story. And they even point out that he's supposed to be basic by saying, wow, you look pretty basic, you look pretty normal, you don't have any, like, defining features like a scar on your face or some shit. In, like, the first episode, Umaraka says that. Okay, it's not the first episode, it's like the fucking fourth one, where he trips in front of her, and she floats him, and then, or maybe a couple episodes afterwards, she's like, hey, you're the basic guy, the guy with the freckles. Like, that's his only defining characteristic. And I think people forget that and think that every main character has to be this standout person, this guy with a black tail, this guy who's going to destroy the world with a rumbling. They think he has to be this unique person when really he can be as basic as the rest of us. And that's why I think Izuku Midoriya, aka Deku, is a actual good character. Like and subscribe for more of this shit. I probably will do some more stuff like this. Had to add a plug at least at the end. I do Twitch stream. I haven't done it in a little bit, but I do plan to continue doing it eventually. Maybe not this week. I'll see you guys next time though. Peace. I have my hands together like I'm praying for this to be good. Please, Lord, let this be successful. I'm sorry about all the other things that I've done. All the stupid crap that I've said. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm actually gonna take this off.